Okay, guys, can you hear me? Just raise your hand if you can hear me. Awesome. All right, so we've already started the show. This is behind the scenes, and then we're going to get into it. So we're going to bring everybody up, and we're going to do our thing.
Do our
So,
thing.
Christoph,
Y-
welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Good. David, hi.
Oh, he can't. He might not be able to talk. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, David, if you can't talk, then you can watch from here. You can be in the gallery, aka the green room, and I'll place you there. So, got Mike? Are you speaking and we just can't hear you? Go ahead. There's a side chat that's called private chat over on the right hand side there. If you can text in there, which I see that you've already found. Awesome. So you guys were already talking. So that's
Having fun.
amazing. Okay? So I assess people. I don't judge people. David, Christoph, David already knows this about me, I think. But Christoph, you don't know me very well, so I don't
Not
judge
yet.
people, but I
Okay.
assess them. Okay? So here's what this means.
Yep.
I I have been speed reading people for the better part of my life because I was the shyest person on the planet, and I basically just did people watching and a lot of people pleasing until somebody said, Roy, you know that shy thing you're doing? I said, yeah. They said, this is the most selfish thing you could possibly do. I said, what? She sat me down 1 hour later. I am no longer that shy guy. And
Good.
so today, yeah, because of what she told me, I had a different mindset about that. It's like, you got to share your brilliance with the world, Roy. And if you don't know what it is, get around people and they'll tell you what your gifting is, what your talent is. And that's what I do, just how people show up for me. So far, watching you in the live stream, watching you interact with April and showing up here going like, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm going to show up.
I'm along for the ride. I this isn't my first rodeo. I've been around the block a few times. There isn't much that kind of gets to me, but this is a new world, kind of this online world. So I'm good to go.
I love it. If I say something or that April girl says something that kind of sort of embarrasses you or makes you
I'm
feel
okay.
like this and that, then I apologize in advance because I'm very blunt. I speak Bluntanese, hashtag Bluntanese. I don't
Mhm.
expect you to speak it or be fluent in it, but I do expect you to understand a little bit of that language. So a lot of
Okay.
times I will ask people questions and I will ask them first, please tell me yes or no, and then you can unpack it for as long as you need to. And a lot of people just don't want to plant a flag. And when I don't get that flag planting, it's like I'm basically out with that person because why would I want to go deep with somebody who always says it depends, Roy? It depends if the sun is up. It depends if I woke up. No, it doesn't depend. If I ask you a question with a yes or no answer, please just answer yes or no, and then you can unpack it and explain to us why it's yes or why it's no all the time.
Fair
So, are
enough.
you good with that?
I'm great with that.
Awesome. Now, are you also an interviewer? Like you have your own podcast or live stream? Because you did wonderful today on your solo show. So I know you do a solo show. Corey, welcome.
Hey, Corey.
Going on, guys? Hello, hello.
That is a great question. That would be a lot more detail than I'm sure you want right now. I used to be a professional speaker, so I've spoken on stages from 20 people all the way to over 10,000.
Ooh,
5
nice.
years ago, I was diagnosed as being bipolar 1. And, depending on how far you want to go, I ended up on the beach at a lake with a gun in my mouth. So
Okay,
I
so
was
yeah, we want to hear that story, but
ready to be done.
yeah, wow, wow.
So
Where are you now?
in a great place. As a matter of fact,
Okay,
I live in Las
good.
Vegas, so I'm in a fabulous place. I'm medicated, which I know some people believe, some people don't believe. I don't really care. It works great for me.
There you
So,
go. There you go. You
um,
said you were in Vegas. Whereabouts? Because April's
we,
dad is there.
so we live in Henderson, Seven
Oh,
Hills.
okay. Yeah, I know somebody that lives in Henderson, and April's dad is in North Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's
So there's that
wonderful.
connection there. So
Awesome.
what we're gonna do here, guys, before we go official, we're already like live, but we're live to YouTube unlisted, aka private.
Got it.
Nobody in the world can find us. Relax. You're not gonna flub up, and even if you do, that's gonna be my best soundbite about you, your bloopers, right? Because we
All
need
right.
bloopers. So I will be conducting most of this. I'm usually just the quick co-host at the beginning of the show. I produce the show. I jump off and jump on at what whenever I need to say something when something triggers me. But basically, we are letting my wife April do the show because, yeah. See,
No,
because
that was
be,
not the deal.
because.
Hold on, for real.
Okay,
Earlier,
wait a second. I got some feedback. Where's the feedback coming from? So it's always
Doghouse.
best to have earbuds or a headset, or if you don't, you can just mute out, and then when you speak, you can mute because I'm hearing some feedback. So 1 2 1 2. Okay, Corey, I think it's you. Yeah, let's see.
okay.
1 2 1 2. Okay, Corey, it's you. So you got headbuds or earbuds, or just turn your voice, or excuse me, your volume down a little bit. Separate your speaker from your mic, because you know the drill. So just keep it muted, and then you can just come on when you want to speak us. Um, I'm not throwing my wife under the bus because that's not what I do. But here's what I will do. I will push her out of her comfort zone just a little bit. And if she comes running back into it, that's fine. I won't push anymore. But I think with all of us here, having talked about and having gone through imposter syndrome yourself, because she came to me and said this, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. She says, Roy, I've got imposter syndrome. Who am I to show up and to teach people about things that I haven't gone through and totally healed from, mastered, or whatever?
Mhm.
And my answer always to that is, why do you think you have to be perfect? What's this professionalism and or this
It's not.
perfectionism coming from? Can't you just be yourself and let people see the flawed character and love you just the same?
I'm okay with people seeing my flawed character, but that's not the point. The point is that you're going to present yourself as being this or that, but not fully. You know?
Wait. Let's ask Corey. Corey, did
Uh,
you understand that? Yes or no?
wait. I got to unmute you. Hold on. Okay.
Let me speak because I don't have earbuds. I don't have a mic. I don't have eCam. I don't have anything but this little webcam little thing that's right in front of me.
And it's
Uh,
awesome. It's awesome.
It's great.
So I will try not to raise my voice or speak
You're
too
good. You're good
much.
right where it's at.
Okay,
It's
good.
it's perfect.
Perfect. Okay, good. You said something about being in fully, like you don't have the credentials, like you don't have the right
Yeah.
paperwork, like
Yeah.
you don't have that kind of knowledge or whatever. We all have, we all have that. I feel the same way. I'm going back in. I've been substitute teaching for 6 7 years. I'm about a month away from getting my credential in special education here in California. I
Congrats.
need that little piece of paper because the state tells me I need it because I got to take a test for it because I got to do everything else for it. But I've been teaching these kids I consider myself an expert within that community, within a classroom. I've been in places nonverbal. They won't even get close to other teachers or other people, adults in the room. And a friend of mine had told me this a while ago. And when I walked in, I had this little mantra running through my head. It was just like, hey, I'm here for you. I got you. Like, you're cool. Like, whatever you need. Like, what's going on? Like, do you want to eat? Can we set you over here? And I was saying this in my head, wasn't saying it to him because I'm not sure if he would have understood me or not. But about halfway through the day, he came over and he put his hand on my shoulder and he kind of points outside. And everybody else looked over. And this is like my first day in the classroom. And they're like, wow, that doesn't happen. And I said, yeah, because I got him. That's what I
You
kept
got the
saying
vibe. Yeah,
all
you
day
got the
long.
vibe.
All day long, you got the vibe. So me and him went outside. And he's a big, one of these older persons that nonverbal, and he got the vibe. So that's it. You're putting out your vibe. You're gonna say find your tribe, kind of thing. It's
Your
gonna
vibe
happen.
attracts your tribe. Absolutely. You can only attract who you are.
But
If
this
you
show isn't about April.
Oh,
So,
so okay, all right. It's not about April.
I want a chance.
Yes, go ahead.
uh-oh.
For a long time, I ran companies from behind the scenes. You wouldn't know who I was. You didn't know that I owned it. You didn't know, because I didn't want the attention. I didn't want the liability, right? And the liability was the exposure, meaning someone would expose me for something. I was a wild child as a youth. And I mean, like, wild as in, if any of that happened now, I would have gone to jail.
Wow.
A lot of times. And if anybody has proof of it, I probably could still go to jail. And so I was fearful. I was fearful of,
I told you it was
kind
funny.
of just being outed, so to speak, right? Like, oh yeah, you're not perfect. So I ran business from behind. I owned an IRA company here in Las Vegas, and we needed to have someone speak on stage. So I gave all my sales guys an opportunity. Nobody wanted to do it. I went home, and the best advice I've ever gotten in my entire life came from my wife. She says, well, stupid, you're the one that's supposed to be on stage, not any of your sales guys. It's you. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I don't remember the exact date, but it was about 7 years ago. First time on stage, about 750 people in the room. And the moment my foot hit that stage, it was over. That was what I was supposed to do. It was done. I knew it. It was as if everything changed. And I think, April, if you have a chance, similar to what I was talking about earlier today, is when there's something about you, there's something that there's something that like kind of ignites you, I think it's over. I don't think people stand a chance. I think Roy's trying to shove maybe that, and get you right into the spotlight so that you can shine.
Yeah,
I don't even know if we're going in the right direction, but
yeah,
I think that's really all it takes.
Yeah, I'm the guy that will cheer you on. I'll be your peer. I'll be your friend. I'll be your coach. I'll be your mentor. And I just want to gently push April, like you just said, onto that first step onto the stage, and then game on.
Okay, so moving on.
What's that?
I said, okay, so moving on.
Okay, so here we go. So April's going to run the show.
Okay.
We're going to put the lower third here. We're going to start this show. This is our first show, our premiere show. We call it a TV 2.0 show. It's nothing more than a podcast. It's nothing more than audio or video podcast, and we're doing a roundtable talk discussion about our tribe leader. We want to show Pat Flynn that we, who are part of his tribe, whether we're a super fan or not, or whether we acknowledge ourselves as a super fan or not, or a brand champion as we like to call ourselves, I know that if we share with Pat how he's infected our life in a really good, super way, that other people who have not yet heard this part about Pat will be able to say, wow, I've never seen that side of Pat. So maybe I should see that side of Pat. Maybe I should connect with these people. So I want to connect us with Pat, Pat with us, and us with each other, and see what blossoms. Because Pat has got a really large tribe as far as I'm concerned. I started following him back in 2008, 2009 when he first started, and he had that architecture, affiliate program going on, and he was just getting his legs, if you will. And the next thing you know, here he is, 2020, going every day live, going like, okay, guys, we all need this. I need this as much as you do. So 8 o'clock for him, West Coast time, 11 o'clock for us. He's on for an hour and a half, sometimes on the weekend, and we're loving it. And so I know what happened with Christoph, because Corey was nice enough to do the net friending thing, not necessarily the networking thing, because we're more into net friending than networking, because net friending is the softer side of networking. Friendship first, businessship second. So that's what I want. I want to show people how easy it is to befriend someone, not to make a friend, because you can't do that. If you want to make me your friend and I don't want to be your friend, you can't make me your friend. But if you want to be friendly towards me, you want to show up and befriend me, then we can talk about two questions. What do we have in common, and how can we help each other? And right now what we have in common is Pat Flynn, and we just want to share what Pat has influenced us in, and how he's helped us to change our life, transform our life, and that's basically what we're going to talk about. So we're going to start the show like I normally do. We have a new title for it, and April, now you can put it up, and I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to solo her, and take it away, April.
To fix my hair, it's a wreck.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
I know.
You
It's
look
crazy.
great.
It's crazy. Can't go to the salon. I'm quarantined. Okay, enough of that. All right. So this is how I start the show for those of you playing along at home. Welcome to the Income Stream with Pat Flynn after show Afterglow with yours truly, April 2.0. And with me tonight is my confidant, co-host, and the voice of net friending, Roy Montero. Hi, Roy.
Hi, April. And as you see, I'm not alone. I
No.
have three other friends with us tonight that are, well, we don't know each other all that well, but we're going to because this is my dream. This is my vision. I've been waiting for somebody like a Pat Flynn, like a tribe leader, and, Seth Godin with tribes. It's like, I want a tribe. I want to lead people in the way that I think a lot of people aren't leading people, and they're doing a lot of networking, but they're not doing a lot of net friending. So I want to become friends. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce people. To my immediate right, as you're viewing this, is Christoph. Christoph, hello. Good
Hey guys.
evening.
Hi
Where
Roy.
are
Hi
you
April.
actually? What time zone?
Pacific.
Okay, so it's still quite early for you. It's just the dinner hour over there. Hope we're not keeping
Mhm.
you from dinner. It's 9:13 p.m. here on the East Coast, so welcome. We have Corey. Corey, welcome. And what time zone are you, sir?
I'm Pacific as well, so it's 6:13 or so right now. San
Yeah,
Diego. Yep.
perfect. San Diego, awesome. And David, yeah, hello, hi. And what time zone are you?
Hi everybody, I'm in Central Texas, so it's 8:14 over here right now.
Awesome. So we're all US based, and I'm sure as we keep going, we're going to get people from Australia. We're going to get people from, everywhere, even Antarctica maybe. So here's what we want to do. I'm going to jump off as soon as I introduce what we're going to do here, and we're going to go just in the circle that we have. So Christoph and Corey made a connection today, and David and I and April made a connection yesterday, Easter Sunday, on a Skype call, and David was there, and it was beautiful. It was like there were three, yeah, no, just April,
Corey
myself,
was
and
there too.
Ernest, and
Corey was
Ernest, and Corey was there for a little bit, and then he had a shindig for Easter to go to, like a backyard barbecue. Look, listen, I just triggered myself. Before we go further, Ernest, help me. April, his last name, how do you pronounce it? Estime. Is that it? Ernest Estime. So he has a Slack group where I met Corey, where I met David, where I met Ernest, and we've been there for, I don't know, a little over a week or so, but we didn't get really vocal, social, until like the last few days. And then we realized, oh my goodness, they all want to do this. They all want to do that. Let's do a live stream. And so somebody wanted to do Skype yesterday, but nobody started it. So sometimes I don't need to ask for permission. I just need to ask for forgiveness. And I just started the thing. And April and I were just talking, waiting for somebody to join us. Ernest joined us. David joined us. Corey joined us. And Christoph, you're not in the Slack group, are you?
I'm not. My first time on Pat's live stream was Saturday.
Oh my goodness! First time? Wow.
Yeah,
Let me say hi to Deb real quick because that's the way we roll. Deb, welcome. You must have been watching and said, "I can do that. I'm jumping in."
No, actually, we just had a late dinner, so I actually just jumped on now.
Okay,
Thanks.
awesome. So tell us a little bit about where you are, time zone related, or if you want to say what city, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm in New York, out on Long Island, if you know where that is.
Absolutely.
And so I'm over on the East Coast.
Oh,
Awesome.
you were one of the people in the Slack group that I thumbs up or hearted because there were a couple of people who said they were from New York. And
Yes.
Me too.
So see what's happening. Another person who hasn't had any dialogue with me or April is jumping into this thing. We have 6 seats here. I'll jump out if there's another person that comes in on the lobby. We have 10 people in the lobby. We just want to just get people, rotating and doing a 1 hour after show, Afterglow, for what took place earlier in Pat's live stream, because I want to support him any way I can. And this is me. I want to meet people at the intersection of live streaming and personal growth. And personal growth leads to professional growth. And most of us here are in business or want to be in business and could use a little different skill set than we already have. Or maybe somebody would like to come alongside of us and befriend us and go like, yeah, I can do that in my sleep. Let me help you with that. Instead of like knocking your head up against the wall going like, I looked this up on Google and I found like 40 million pages. Which one do I use? You know, who do I trust kind of thing. So, but here, this is the most interesting thing here. And I want to be able to play a soundbite of it because I think what Christoph said today is something most people wouldn't say. So it makes me think that he is very vulnerable, very open. And if I asked him, hey, are you married and you have any kids? He probably wouldn't say to me, what do you want to know for? He'd probably say, yes, I'm married to so-and-so, name her, and then to talk about his kids. And 8 minutes later, I'd be going, okay, Christoph, I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done with that. It's like, good, I get that. It's just, and I love that.
Yeah, it would be more like 12.
Okay, see what I mean? So I love assessing people, not judging people, assessing people. I love their body language, and body language is not necessarily facial expressions or body expressions. It's what they say and what they don't say. It's how they answer my questions because I've formulated some really good questions to find out if people are going to be for me or against me. And I don't want to hang with people that are against me. And I know within 15 minutes if I ever want to talk to you again, and hopefully you will too. So here's the cool part. So Corey, we know Corey. We threw him in a room with us in Messenger, and Corey's a great conversationalist. I love the fact that he can zig and zag with me with the best of them. We've done a call with April and me and him, and so
let's go in chronological order because you're excited, and so you're just excited. So the backstory. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I had you muted. So he was like,
no, that's fine. I just wanted to tell Deb, who just came on right now, my mother is from Islip Terrace, Long Island.
Oh, okay.
Islip
So
Terrace.
you know the drill.
I've never been to New York. Never been to New York. Never been to Long Island, which is a terrible, terrible thing. But I have to go there. My mother has many stories. All that. So Islip Terrace. So yes, and me and Roy, we also share some similarities in where we grew up and where we're from, and in Los Angeles and everything. But that's a whole nother story. So that's all. I just wanted to come in and say Long Island. All right, cool.
Yeah, and we do that here. Me too. When you have a Me Too moment, let them know because that's bonding.
My sister-in-law lives in Islip Terrace also. So
awesome. So, but I wanted to get the lay of the land, and then I'm gonna let you take over. So the reason Christoph is here. He doesn't even know the reason he's here, but he said it before, and I want to open that up because I think that's amazing how he made it onto here. I mean, how long ago did you do your live stream, Christoph? Like what? Like 4 hours?
4 hours ago, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
3 hours ago.
4 hours ago, I did not know Christoph from Adam.
That was 3 hours ago?
It was 3 hours ago.
Seems like it was an hour ago.
So yeah, exactly. So here's what happened. So because Corey is in an inner circle in Messenger with us, and he basically has carte blanche to just say, hey guys, here's a link. There's a guy named Christoph, and he's a habit freak, and he's doing live right now. And we're like, well, let me back that up. Corey didn't give us the link. He told us what was going on in text, but he didn't give us the link, and he says, I'm watching it now, and I'm like, are you going to leave us out? To myself, I didn't tell him. So I said, got link? He put the link there, and me and April both joined, and we're listening to him, and he's a funny guy, and he's talking about having this website assessment or a website review or an audit, whatever you want to call it. Pat Flynn did this for him, and he was talking in this excited voice. Now, I don't know. I don't have a baseline for how Christoph speaks normally. I don't know if he speaks like this, and then all of a sudden he got excited. But he was so vulnerable because he was sharing what Pat was saying, and it's like, yeah, that's true, and I was looking at this, and I didn't have that perspective, and blah, 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 blah. And the part was really low when he was screen sharing, so we couldn't hear Pat. And like we both said, we can't hear Pat. It's like, can you turn up the volume? And he really wasn't paying attention at first, and then when he did see it, he did, and then he put us on as far as the comments on the screen, and I felt, oh my goodness, I felt the love. Christoph, when you put my comment up, that's what I live for. That I want to provide comments of value, and then you put it up there, and it's like, aw, he's showing, because a lot of people who do this, they don't even put the comments up, or they'll read them and they'll read them like this. Oh yeah, okay, and then go on. It's like, oh my goodness, stop. So that's how April and I and Corey met Christoph, because here's what happened. So Corey is listening to Pat talk, and then he's looking at the stream. We haven't discussed this yet. Corey, tell me if this is true or not. And he's looking at the stream and he likes what this person said. So he clicks those 3 dots and he goes over to their Facebook group. And then he's like, I want to like subscribe and find out what they're all about. See what their next videos are about. So we saw that. And April goes like, this guy Corey just signed up. Like we have like 5 subscribers right now. Corey just signed up. And it's like, from where? What? What?
We have like 6.
Okay, 6. Sorry about that.
No.
every subscriber counts. And so we did the same thing with Christoph. He saw Christoph, and maybe the assessment, the website assessment, caught you, Corey, and you said, "Oh, Habit Freak, the freak part." It's like, I'm like subscribing right now. And he did this maybe yesterday or the day before, and then he's live. He gets a notification. He looks and he says, "I'm sharing this with my new friends April and Roy and everybody else in the room." Corey, how accurate to the actual story was that?
That's pretty much it. I just happened to be sitting here at the computer, got a little notification. Oh, live, Christoph over here, Habit Freak. I'm like, wait a second, that rings a bell somewhere. Oh yeah, I ring that bell with him. That's why I'm getting the notification. Boom, went on. And it's me and like maybe your son or somebody else.
Yeah, it was you and your son.
which is great. And I'm like, awesome. Hey man, would you mind if I share this in this little group? Because this is what we're all like doing right now. So we're taking this, we're expanding it out. And I mean that's why we're all here. I love connecting people. So that's kind of like what I enjoy to do with this all, and just introducing unique people who have their gifts, their talents, and they're not afraid. Even if they are afraid, they're still doing it. Even if they are afraid, they're still doing it. And I want to support it. I want to be able to support that.
Awesome. So I want to play this little clip because what Christoph said was valuable. I mean, not just valuable like most people say. You got to provide value. You got to provide value. You got to provide value. All the influencers are saying that. And I asked the question, so what does value mean to you, right? So we'll get into that. But this clip I want to play, and I don't know if I have it ahead of time here, so I might have to, yeah, it's here. So I'm going to use my ability to screen share and put this together for you guys. And I want you to listen to it just a little bit. So I'll just preface it by saying, I was blessed. Christoph, I was blessed by what you said. Because normally when people say, here's a video, watch it, or take a look at this, or whatever, the status quo response is, how long is it? I don't got time. It's like, how long is it? But because it was Corey and our relationship is really new, but I know he's on the same wavelength as me, that he wouldn't have put, Christoph on our radar if it wasn't like there's some overlap there, not just something random. Go look at this cat video. It's like, no thanks. Let's go look at Christoph. So he blessed me when he said, and I'll just say it my way, and then you can listen how he said it, that he went live. Now, I don't know if he was going live for the first time. I may have misunderstood that. Was it? Oh, nice.
First
going
time.
live for the first time.
Ever. Oh, live in the sense that it's on you. I mean, I've spoken on stages. I've been at events before, but live on YouTube, no, first time.
Christoph, I never would have known.
It was a mess. It was a train wreck is what it was.
But it was no more a mess than like the seasoned people who have stuff that goes wrong.
Well, let me just say this to Roy, because what you said about the comment just a second ago is the same way that I felt. Like when I had a chance to, kind of be reviewed by Pat Flynn, right? Like he said my name. Technically, it worked out for me better than I could have ever imagined because my website didn't work. So he had to say my name like 10 times. Everyone and their dog was looking for the website. And Then I see my name on the screen. I mean, I have a screenshot of my name, my face with Pat Flynn that I went and like jumped up and down with my son. And so, trying to do this, I'm sorry that I didn't get to you sooner. It was just going so dang fast in the chat, and there were only 6 people. It was hard to get to you.
Yeah, hey, look, if this was the first time you did a thing, then here I got a one-liner for that, and I'm the one-liner guy. There's usually a one-liner for every situation. The first time you do a thing is the worst time you do a thing, right?
Mhm.
And so you were in the zone. You were just going away, and you weren't looking at the chat, and you weren't, you didn't know how to put them up or whatever. You're using
Nope.
Ecamm, is what I understand. We're using like
Yep.
StreamYard here, and I'd like to introduce you to that as well. And maybe this might serve you better, blah blah blah, and all of that because you get to see the comments. So yeah, you did a wonderful job. We're always promoting StreamYard. We love the boys over there, the founders. They're in their mid to late 20s still, from Canada, and they're doing an amazing job with all the features that we have here. So it's amazing because if I want to let you all know, like before and after pictures, like with April, because I love that. Here's what I'm going to do.
Total 2.0.
Total difference there. And I want to share that with people and let people know just how this transformation for her happened. It happened in 42 days because she said, Roy, I'm April 2.0. I said, what? She said, yeah, because the old April would have thought this and done that, but now I have a new thought thanks to what you've been pouring into me and the one-liners and all that good stuff that's in my head. I'm going to think differently and do differently. So it's like Maya Angelou's quote, do the best you can, and when you know better, do better. So that's what I'm saying to you, Christoph. So here, I want to play this really quick, just a quick clip, just to give you an
audio?
Huh?
Did you share the audio before you shared the video? The tab, the box?
Well, we'll find out.
Oh, okay.
Trying to give advice to someone else or to help someone else, right? I struggled with this for a long time. And I don't know the right answer, but here's my answer. Don't be afraid to just try and add value. Like right now, I had no idea how this live was going to go. And frankly, without Corey sharing this to a bunch of other people, I wouldn't have had the chance to answer that question. I don't know that I answered the best way, but I answered it my way. So I think from a imposter syndrome, I think the best thing that you can do, and this kind of ties in with Corey's question, I'll get to in just a second, which is how do you be the best version of yourself instead of worrying about.
You're on mute.
Oh, so what I want to do is just take that and unpack that for a second. And here in typical Roy fashion, here's how I'm going to do that. So, Deb, did you hear all of that? First of all, do you know Christoph?
I think Deb's having connectivity issues because she's frozen.
Oh, she's frozen.
Oh, okay. So let's help Deb down, and then she'll come back up. Deb, if you can hear us, go ahead and refresh. Just refresh.
Out.
I think she's on mobile. Just go out of here and then come back in, because that's, guys, if there's issues like that and you're hosting and people freeze up and stuff just tell them go refresh, because 99% of the time it's going to fix it. So we'll go to David. Are you there? Because if you're there, I'd like to get your take on this, because I know David is with lots of people there, so he may not be able to show up audio, video when he can, but when he can, he will, and I will make that a note to call on him then. So I think he may have froze up too. So now we have Corey. Corey, you explain what you heard Christoph say, that if it wasn't for Corey and sharing that link and April and I showing up and saying and sharing and just getting involved and engaged the way that we did, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to shine, to show his brilliance to me, Roy. Now, if he showed it to you or not, I don't know. I don't really even care. He showed it to me. Corey?
Unmute him. He's muted.
Oh, can't you unmute yourself? Okay, go ahead.
Can I?
Yes.
Reiterate exactly what it is that you just said before, something about the talent, the genius, between this gentleman on my right or left, however the screen.
Yeah. So Corey, if you did
There.
not show up for him
Yes.
in the live stream
Yes.
and or share the link with April and myself so that we could be there as well, Christoph would not have been able to share what he shared according to your question, April's question, and my question, because he was basically using his own brain, just doing the thing with Pat Flynn. And so we, all three of us, but you were the catalyst, gave him an opportunity to shine even more with his knowledge and his wisdom.
Cool. I love that. I love that word that you just mentioned right there, Roy. And I'm gonna own that one for a little bit, because I've been told that before with another friend of mine who started this gratitude mindset group in Facebook, which is blowing up right now. He's a solar guy, super cool person, Earl Kapule from Hawaii, really, really cool guy. Plus other groups that we've been in. We've done live challenges. I don't even know how to do YouTube not live, because whenever I do anything, it's just that little button goes on and it's streaming, and all that I do is like try to stream out whatever consciousness that I've got. Like that's just me. Like I don't know how to prepare for it. I just do it. But you talked about like there's a quote that I'm trying to get back into my brain about coincidence. You know, there's really no coincidences. There's the definition of it is just like, you know, preparing here, doing this when one's ready, blah, 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 all this stuff. So as this is occurring organically, I mean, if it feels good, flow with it, right? Like go with it. And that's why I felt compelled to share within the group this guy right over here, the habit freak. And, you know, I asked him about like, you know, what's your one habit? What would you call a freak? Because I tend to gravitate or resonate with those who associate themselves differently than others. And that's just what I like. I've never been one to, you know, you go out there and you call yourself normal and you put yourself in this. No. I want to associate. I want to find out, like, I want it to be interesting. I want to be able to tell stories down the road about people that I've met and experiences that I've had, and all these different things that are occurring right now. That's the beauty of life. Like we are actually creating it as we're going with it in this moment. So that's why I wanted to share that in our little group, in our little Facebook group, and kind of like invite you and the world and whoever else might be listening to this afterwards to this man over here.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because you never know. You never know who's watching. So show up, even if there's one person there, no people there, and
Exactly.
Who knows, someone will show up. So April, how did you view what Christoph just said? If it wasn't for Corey, because he absolutely gave him the credit, he wouldn't have been able to shine. He didn't say it that way. He's very like humble and stuff. But he wouldn't have been able to shine with his knowledge and his wisdom in what he was saying and sharing, because I invite everybody who's listening to this to go and watch. I'll drop the link in here in just a second to go and watch all of it, some of it, most of it, and see if you can't connect with him in some way, if he's a fit. And if not, don't force it. So what was it for you that what Christoph said, both live and now me doing the replay and saying, yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have said all those things.
I get that, because me too. That's the same way I feel when I'm doing a live stream, that having not just people, but the right people to show up and to ask questions and to give some in-depth feedback is everything to somebody who's hosting a show. Everything. And that's what he means. Like, just because we showed up for him the way that we did, it allowed him to be authentically him. And I love that, because I'm glad I got to see authentic habit freak.
It really changed the entire focus. So Corey, my plan was let me just give you a little background, and Roy, you cut me off at any time because I will go way too long.
You're like me too.
I will. My wife will just be like, just tell him to shut up, and he'll shut up. So I found Pat Flynn. I'm gonna have to look at the date. I'm gonna say 2008, 9, 10 ish. I'm gonna go in there.
Yeah.
Back in the very, very beginning. I owned this would have been before that. This would have been So I owned a blog. The blog was called blogsavvy.net, and it was I sold it for 5 figures after having owned it and never done anything with it other than have people in the Philippines post articles on it. And so
they just love the name.
Yeah, well, the guy that wanted it really wanted it just because it had, all this SEO and all this stuff that I honestly at that time had no idea what it was. I looked at it more like an asset, like, oh, I can own it's kind of a piece of property. I have other people posting on it, making it more valuable, and then someone wants it. So I came across Pat Flynn way back then with Smart Passive Income. So I bought Start Creating Passive Income, figuring I could knock him off. Never did anything with it. Not one thing. If you look at my YouTube channel, it was started in 2011. No videos until probably 2 weeks ago. None. Never posted any videos. Or to be fair, if I did, I would post it and delete it.
Yes.
But it would be as if, hey, I posted it. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Delete.
Yes.
So for me, I was on YouTube because my son has a YouTube channel and he's really trying to promote it. He has 1,500 subscribers and he's, working towards his monetization goal. And so I'm on YouTube and I saw, I don't know, it must've been on the homepage. I saw kind of a flash for a Pat Flynn tomorrow, live stream. I'm like,
recommended video, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I clicked on it. I had no intention of getting up. I was going to watch it later. But I just happened to wake up about 6 and couldn't go back to bed. And for whatever reason, kind of back to Corey's idea, it's that coincidence. It started playing in the garage on my computer at 8, right as it started, like, ta-da, we're going, even though the computer was black. So I had to come down. I came down and then I was like, you know what? I might as well stick around. And that's where all of this kind of happened. And so then, really, because he went live and I've already owned all the equipment for, I can't tell you how long. I had a podcast probably 3-4 years ago. I ended up having a couple 100 or so episodes. I think I had close to 1 million downloads, and then I deleted it because it wasn't perfect, as stupid and silly as that sounds. And so after kind of all of this, Corey subscribed to my YouTube channel. I know that sounds really stupid.
Did you see the subscription come in your email?
I did.
Ah, nice. Me too. Her too. Yes.
I think you were, I have it written down. I think you're either 34 or 35. Like I have 30. I think I have 40 now, but
let me say this. It was 38 when I subscribed. So I'm subscriber 39. So I can say way back 39. When I was subscriber 39.
Okay. Yeah. So it to be totally fair, it changed kind of how I felt. And then to have Corey on today, because I had initially, see how this is such a long answer to a really simple
No, this is good statement. Though, but I love this.
I was planning, Corey, to just go live and literally just whatever came out. Like, you know what? I'm going to review what Pat said. I'm going to do what I can. And then you came on. And it was like, oh my gosh, I actually have someone watching. Oh crap!
I gotta mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
What did you think?
I guess I'm gonna have to figure out this Ecamm live thing.
Okay, so let me stop you right there in your story. Don't lose your train of thought. So you saw an actual viewer. We call these viewers. More than 3 seconds. He was there for more than 3 seconds, and he didn't leave. And you're like, so what was going through your mind, Christoph?
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Go away.
He's not a viewer. He's an actual, there was an actual person on the other end of the line.
I love that. Yes.
Like subscriber, whatever. That's great. But for me, at that moment, right then, that was a person.
That was a person. I love it. I got to ring a bell if I had a bell. Okay, keep going.
And so all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I have a real live person listening to me. Don't sound like an idiot, you know? Right? So then I go on with it, and most of it isn't working. The sound from the website isn't, you know, you can't hear it, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. Great. And so there's a comment. I was trying to find it and see if I could get it. That came through, and I think it was actually Corey's. So I'm giving Corey, I owe a lot of this to you. You were like, you know, something to the effect, and I wish I could go back and see it, but it was something to the effect of, now that's adding value. And it kind of changed where I was going, because I was going to review the whole dumb website, which Pat already did. He already kind of beat it up. Like, okay, we're good. Move on to how I can add value to now the 6 people that are on the call, or, you know, on the live.
Yeah. Talk
And
to me.
that's
Add value. Tell me what's in it for me. Get out of the third person, and then, you know, and then you started doing that. You did it with April. You did it with Roy. You started throwing it out there, and you were telling your story. You were, you know, you were doing your thing, and like, oh, wait a second. Now I can connect. Now this is getting real. Now I want to listen more, you know, and that was cool. That was a nice little shift that I noticed, you know, partly through your live stream, which was great.
You know, I think Roy could probably listen to people who are real snoozers sometimes and put them on my radar, and I'm like, I just can't receive from them. But your personality, Christoph, is the epitome of like what I look for when I want to stay engaged in a live stream, because I love when people talk with me, just like, was it you, Corey, who said, or no, you said, he's not a viewer, he's a person. Same thing. Like, I want to be received as a person.
Totally. Yeah.
And I got that vibe from you. And I felt like we were sitting across from a table from one another, sitting at a table. I can't talk, it's been a long day. Sitting across the table from one another, having an actual fluid conversation as if we were face to face. And that probably comes from your speaking in the physical on a stage, because
it's totally different.
Really?
Totally. Because I want to look at your face. When I speak to you, like if I was speaking to Corey, if I were speaking to Roy, if I were speaking to you, I want to look at you, but you're on my screen. In order for me to look at you, I have to look up here. And I have this, you know, Logitech Brio and another stupid camera and another stupid camera, but I have to look at this. And so I see you in my periphery, but it's so hard, at least for me, to, you know, like, I mean, I probably overcompensate because I want to connect with you, but I'm looking at the stupid camera.
Okay, does
that make sense?
Oh, yeah, so much so that I want to zag and I want to go on this topic for a bit.
Oh, wait,
April, go.
Before you do.
Here she comes.
Before you do, so the weird thing that I just thought of is Christoph and I both want to be like looking at each other while we're in conversation with each other. But because I need to look at the camera and he needs to look at the camera, neither one of us are even looking at each other ever.
Nope.
Except in the periphery, as Christoph
you're
said.
there. I see you. You're right there.
But we do this for the benefit of anybody who's going to see this after the fact. This isn't about us. This is about the people that we're here to serve.
Yeah.
Right, Corey?
Thank you. Yes. I was trying to lean into the camera just a little bit, you know, see if I could reach between the screen and kind of, you know, meet everybody. It's the unfortunate thing. Pat has his you know, the FlynnCon thing, and the reason why he doesn't want to do it online and do it virtual or anything like that is because the value that you get from actually seeing somebody, from actually being with somebody, from sitting down with somebody and sharing notes or sharing a coffee or whatever it might be with them. You know, unfortunately, that's not the day and age that we're living in now, which is, you know, amazingly insane, crazy, but that's what's going on. So what he's done, you know, like consistently, like virtually, has brought all of us together, and it's continuing to just expand out, and it's you know, we can only do what we can do. And right now we have technology. I think I was talking to Roy when we were on the phone earlier. Actually, no, was I talking to Roy? Or, no, I was talking to my buddy Kenny. I said, look, imagine if it was like 20, 30 years ago and we didn't have all of this. What would we be doing? Like, where would we be at? What would be happening? We're lucky enough to get a connection. Yes, exactly. You know, like one person on the phone. There's 4 of us now. When we share this, or when Roy puts this together, however he's going to put this together, and he blasts it out there into the intertubes or whatever like that, you know, I mean, my goodness, the world could see it.
I love that. So, as a producer guy, Corey, when you speak, can you turn your volume down like to the lowest that you can possibly hear it? Because when you speak, we're still getting feedback, and I'm just a stickler for this kind of stuff. That's why I say to people, if you have earbuds or a headset, please wear that, because if your mic is not good enough, if your speakers aren't good enough, there's going to be feedback. So I don't want to belabor the point, but we need to have Corey muted when we don't, when he's not speaking.
He was talking.
I understand, but if you could turn it down, because we're even getting feedback. So can you turn your speaker volume down or move it away from the mic? And please, if you weren't done, please continue.
No. That's what I was talking about with the technology of it all. I've got a buddy who does videos. He's all about tech. He puts graphic design. He's all over the place. And I've asked him. I said, hey man, can you come over and like hook me up with some speakers, sound stuff, lighting stuff? Can you make me sound professional? But he's got a new child. He just lives around the corner from me. He's my next door neighbor. He's a super cool person. Does amazing things with graphic design, builds houses and designs for before it's even, you know, put into place. But I only have like my voice, the little webcam with a little light on there right there, and the speaker. So I'm going to do the best that I can with it and try not to. Yeah, what is that? That's a blow dryer, a hair dryer, or
It's
something?
a Red Blue Yeti.
Yes.
Red Blue Yeti.
Red Blue Yeti.
Cool.
So,
I have to get you one of those.
So Corey, let me move on here very quickly, because it's getting to the top of the hour. I want to get all this stuff in here. So I appreciate you. Here's what I want to highlight, this one-liner that I love. This is my one-liner, and excuse me, Christoph he just emphasized it when he said, no, it's not a viewer. So the way you see a person is the way you treat that person, and especially so if that person is you. So what Christoph did when I said viewer, he immediately course corrected me and said, no, Roy, I don't see Corey as a viewer, because what the heck does that mean, right? Or as someone who liked my page or a follower or whatever. He just said, you know what? Somebody is showing up here to my live stream, and he has the ability to interact with me through text. And whether you were ever going to bring a person up or not, you know, if that's ever going to happen, like what we're doing here, that wasn't necessarily on your mind, but you still didn't see him as a viewer. You saw him as a person that showed up to watch you. So you gave that emphasis. The way you saw Corey is the way you're going to treat Corey, more so than just a viewer. And a lot of people, I got to give you major props for that, Christoph, because most live streamers, they just want to get their agenda out. They want to say what they want to say and get that out. Hey, at the end of the show, hey, buy my product, this, that, and the other thing. It's like they look at yourself as, you know, somebody who might want to buy their stuff. So they look at you as a wallet or a purse.
Sure.
Somebody who's got like money to spend or invest in what they're selling, and leave that human element and that social element out. And that's what I appreciated what you just said, because I just needed to expound on that, because that's who I am. I want to see each and every one of the people that are following me, or what Facebook or whoever says that is a viewer, because I do the same thing. I see them not as content, because, you know, people out there are saying that content is king. And if you just leave it out there, I'm going to say, I disagree. Content is not king. The content provider is king. Because I don't care how great Christoph's or Corey's content is. Right now, I'm interested in them as content providers. You know, again, going back to the value that we were talking about earlier, what is the value? And I loved what you said. Basically, you said, you didn't say it this way, but basically you said value is in the eye of the beholder. Because if I share something, Corey might like it, or you might like it, and both of you might not like it because of where you are in this journey that you're on. So again, I want to connect with people who are overlapping with me, and I'm seeing that that's what the two of you want to do as well, and that's why we're all here tonight. So Christoph, he was just kind of thrown into this. It's like he did his live stream four hours ago, and I said, "You got to get him on the show tonight. I want to talk to him. I want him to unpack what he did, what he felt, because if this is his first show, like I heard him say, you're amazing. You're amazing. So it can only get better from there. So I just wanted to point that part out. And the other part I want to point out real quick again, which I showed earlier, if you look at the screen, this is what it would look like if April was looking at the images of all of us, or one or all of us. It would look like the left, the before picture. But now if you look at the screen, then there's more engagement, because now you're making eye contact with your, not your viewers, but the people who are viewing what you're doing, saying, being, and it's much more interactive. They're going to get the vibe like you actually care about me, because if you look away like that, yeah, you're looking at all the people on the screen, but the people watching get the icky vibe. It's like, you don't even care about me. Would you agree with that, Christoph?
I would, but there's, like even now, like to be totally fair, there's a chat on the far right here. I haven't paid attention to it. Maybe it's me, maybe it's kind of how I'm built. But I'm listening to you. And so right now, right here, I want to make you the most important thing. I can't, my wife tells me all the time, I'm not, I can't do more than one thing at one time. I can't be reading. I cannot be reading chat and listening to you. I'm not giving anybody full attention. And frankly, I will probably default to what I'm reading versus what I'm hearing, because you know what I mean? Because I'm more focused on the reading while I'm listening. Does that even make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. To us guys, it does. But the ladies can multitask, so they can read and talk at the same time.
Yeah, my wife could probably have done all my whole show blindfolded.
True that. So I just wanted to make that correlation that Christoph, even though it was his first show, he's already aware, because he's probably seen enough live streams to realize, look at the camera and give eye contact to the people who matter most, those in your live studio audience, as I like to say, because there's going to be a connection there. That's the body language that we need, instead of just looking at your screen and going like, oh yeah, I want to see the rest of the guests on the show and this and that. So, and that's a learning curve. Not a lot of people do that, because your first inclination as a human being is to look at the screen and not to look at the camera lens, wherever you may put that, whether it's mobile, whether it's desktop. And so I like doing desktop. I don't even own a mobile phone, because I don't need one. I got a couple of tablets, and I use that, and I use my, I barely even use the laptop. I like to do this. I have 3 screens, so I have 3 things going at the same time. I can do the producer thing, and yeah, that helps April. That helps me. She can concentrate on what she needs to do. I do what I do, and this being our first show, I'm here more and talking more, but once we get going, I want April to have that interaction with everybody more so. We're almost at the top of the hour. I want to respect your time, but here's what I do want to do. I want to go Christoph first, then Corey, then April, and I'll go last. Who is Pat Flynn to you? How'd you cross paths? We already heard Christoph say, we already heard me say, so we don't need to do that again. How long ago? What did you see? The value he provided for you? You didn't like him at first. All of a sudden, he crossed your path again. He came on a recommended video. It's like, hey, I'll tune in. I got a web assessment. Now I'm going to do what he said do. I know better. I'm going to do better. And that led to you, Christoph, being a part of our journey today, crossing paths, and whether we ever, do anything together, collaboration or creation wise, co-create, that's yet to be determined. Or if we just say, you know what, beyond this, nah, you suck. Okay. So, Christoph, you got the floor. Who is Pat Flynn to you?
He would be someone that I connect with. So, you talk a lot about content, and you talk a lot about, the content is king. His message and or his values or his persona, whatever it may be, I connect with it. So he would be someone that I would want to follow and listen to, and I don't know the right word, assume that he knows what he's talking about, because obviously I haven't consumed all of his content. I don't know that, everything is perfect, but for me, he's someone that I connected with. And then to have the opportunity to be able to have him review it's like the best of both worlds. But from the beginning, I had my hesitations about kind of any guru, because you actually said the same thing. Most people were just out for money. It seems to me, based on everything that I've seen, that that's not where Pat's motives are. Pat's motives are more to help people, to be able to get them further along rather than to make a buck. So to me, that's what matters most.
I love that. I love that. Super. Pat's going to love that. This is going to be something hopefully that Pat will want to see. I'll take some of these sound bites and let him know. So, quick question before we go to Corey. Christoph, would you say because you put out your website, knowing that the first show that you see, he's like, I'm going to do some website reviews, and you're like, okay, I'm going to give you my link. And it's like, wow, he's like actually choosing me over all the other people. I didn't know if he was going to do it or not. I was hoping he would do it, but that connection that you made with him, the way you felt, because Maya Angelou says, you're going to forget what Pat Flynn said. You're going to forget what Pat Flynn did during that first show, during that web review, but you're never going to forget how Pat Flynn made you feel. So talk to us about that. Was that a feeling that you got that said, you know what, I'm going to tune into more of his stuff. I like Pat. He's more than just, he wants to take my buck. He's actually giving me free, valuable information. So Christoph, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but help me with that.
No. So,
and hi, David. Welcome back.
Hi, David. So having seen kind of the introduction Friday night, and then being on, I think I was there probably 15 minutes late by the time I actually got in and, was sitting down. He throws out, okay, well, I'm going to do some website reviews. And for me, and maybe this will help other people. Maybe April is, I'm a perfectionist. So my website still wasn't ready. It wasn't perfect. And here I am asking kind of on the fly, like, oh, let's have Pat Flynn out of all people review my website. Sure, let's do that. And then he picks me, right? So for me, it's almost validation. So yes, there are a couple of things that he said that absolutely floored me. I'm getting really nitpicky because of the things that I already like. He basically validated, like, hey, I already like some of these things, so I'm going to get really nitpicky with me. For me, I'm a very granular person. I love to know what I'm doing wrong. Like, if you'll just tell me without any, kind of warrants or hesitation, your motive isn't, to offend me. Your motive is like, man, I want to make you better, which Pat doesn't know me. Here he is looking at my website, tearing all the things that either A, I already knew, B, my wife had told me 3 times, like, yeah, you shouldn't talk in third person on your website, you idiot. Makes you sound like an egomaniac. And, here it is to what? I think there were on the live that he had, I don't know, 200 viewers. So there are 200 people that are seeing my website, Pat Flynn talking about it. And the greatest thing that I got was, and I still don't know how to do this with YouTube, was someone in the comments that was live, because I was trying to follow along, trying to listen, trying to take notes. It was way things for me to do. Someone said, holy crap, that makes sense to me. For me, Pat reviewed my website, but it applied to everyone else.
Yes.
That was so great to kind of see and feel like, oh, wow, like this actually, having me be vulnerable and kind of like, oh my gosh, my website's not ready. Are you sure you want to do this? It helped someone else. So take me out of the equation. Sure, I can make the changes to my website. That's great. But me doing that caused someone else to have kind of an epiphany or, whatever. And then it got Corey to this point. Like, I owe all of this to literally Pat Flynn. I mean, I would not have gone live had I not seen him go live, and him kind of a combination of things, me deciding to have him look at my website, then him doing it and finally going, oh crap, I guess I better do that. It's time. No more hiding behind anything. Then Corey as a person decides to say, you know what? I'm gonna subscribe to your YouTube channel. And to me, because of the timing of when it happened and right after, I can't tell you how emotionally I will use the word satisfying. Like it was overwhelming, the gratitude that I felt at that moment. Like, oh my gosh, like somebody saw my website, they went to YouTube and they decided that they want to like get more of what I have to say.
Yes.
Like, I was overwhelmed.
Yes.
Overwhelmed.
Same thing with us. And April saw that. And just to take off what you're saying real quick before we get to Corey.
Yeah.
April and David were doing a site review. April was doing a site review for David because we met yesterday on Skype, and we got into Divi and we got into websites, and so Pat also, right, David? He did a review of your website, yes, and then April came behind and did one privately with you on Skype yesterday. So Corey, sorry, just hang tight. This is the way we roll. So quickly, David, I'm going to give you some airtime before you have to go again because I know you got a crowd of people there, but tell Christoph what that was like for that Pat to do it and then April to come behind and do some more. And April doesn't even know what she's talking about, but she knows enough to just talk about what she likes and what she doesn't like. I mean, she's not a professional web designer. What does she know, right? But she gave you her opinion, which is gold, super valuable. Or did you not see it that way? Go ahead.
No, I definitely saw it that way. In fact, my website review was right before yours, Christoph.
Well, because we're coming up to the top of the hour, whatever time that I had to talk about me and Pat and everything, like let David close out everything from his, like tell his story from here on.
Do you have to go, Corey?
No, I don't have to go yet.
Okay.
If we're gonna,
we are not limited on time. I want to get your story with Pat because that's valuable. But I want David because I know David's situation behind the scenes.
I'm gonna allot my time to like the senator or whatever like that. I allot my time.
Thank you, Corey. You're a scholar, my friend. Thank you.
Well,
David,
I really
please.
appreciate it, but I don't need. I'm not into taking your time if you're available.
No, nobody's time is being taken. He's got time to stay. So go ahead, David.
Okay. No, in fact, I feel I didn't get to hear your whole story, Christoph, because my internet was going in and out like crazy. But from what I gathered, you pretty much had a website thrown together real quick. Not much followers, not much viewers, not much going on. You just had something up in the corner of the web, and then Pat reviewed it, and you're like, "Oh crap, this is real." Am I correct?
That's okay. To be fair, I have worked hours, probably days on that stupid website because I'm a perfectionist, but it was nobody knew it existed. So yes.
Same here, exactly the same here. And yeah, I mean, my website, like Pat said, it looks beautiful, but what am I supposed to get from it? And I knew that because there was nothing there. There was literally nothing there on my website, but I put it up. There's nothing on my YouTube channel, but I put it up and said, hey, if Pat decides to review it, he will. And he did, and I got a ton of value from it, and now I'm doing a complete redesign. I've got the Divi theme and everything, and I'm working on it. But the generosity that he shows and the legitimacy and the how genuine he is.
Yeah.
Just it goes. He's not out to get our money. He's not out to, try to paint a fake image for himself. No, he's actually giving honest, legitimate, valuable reviews, and it helps. It helps a lot, and that's my view of Pat. And it's definitely given me a kick in the rear to move forward and get things done and actually be successful with it, which I know I can be if I set my mind to it.
And so to add to that, here a lot of people are into self-help, and I get that, but that's just good. The great is to go other people help. So there's self-help,
Yep.
and there's other people help, because you can only use your brain so much. And then when you have somebody else evaluate, review, assess, give it an audit, it's like they have more information. they have less information, they have different information. And when you and April got together, because I watched that video, so thank you for doing that, David, with her, because she got a lot out of it. She said that was fun.
Oh, thank you.
That was fun for her, right? Right, April? That was fun. So the information she gave you, it's like, well, what about this? Because she's coming at it from her point of view. If she lands on your website, here's what she wants to see. Here's what she wants
Exactly.
to.
And the thing,
Go ahead.
what was so valuable for that? What was so valuable from that for me is because April, I mean, she has no connection other than I think you said you had some relation to a drummer at some point. No connection at all to my realm and what I do.
Right.
She
She's
has
not
nothing
your
to do with
ideal
music,
target
nothing to
audience.
do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing to do
and
with
that
it.
was great because she came in as a total outsider because I'm a little bit biased to my own site because I'm married to it. I built it. I know where everything is.
She's a
I have no
baby.
problem finding my way around. Exactly. She comes in as a total outsider, similar to what Pat does, but even more so on her side, and says, this is what I see. And I realize, okay, that's exactly not what I want people to see when they come to my site. And that's great because now I need to change it.
Yeah, and that's
so,
why.
no, it was a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that because that's what we want to do. We know that when two people get together, three people get together, two heads are better than one. Napoleon Hill, who wrote the Bible of entrepreneurship, Think and Grow Rich, says when you get two minds together, a third intangible mind is created, and you feed off of each other, just like what we said earlier about Christoph. If he didn't have the questions, he wouldn't have had the mindset to even talk in those vernaculars. But because he had three people asking him questions, he was like, whoa, this is good, this is good, this is good. And so he's still doing a solo show, but he's got live people in the audience. And that's what we're all about here. And like what just happened earlier, poor Deb, she said she's got a really bad connection. She'll catch us next time, and that's why she fell off. But see, with no formal introduction or nothing, it's just like, hey, we're part of Pat's tribe, and we want you to show up. There you go. Look what Corey's got.
Look at that.
There it is.
It's broken. It's ripped. It's tattered.
It's actually been used and read. So there's a one-liner for that. I just got triggered. You will be the same person in 5 years from now, except for the people that you meet and the books that you read. And that's by Charlie Tremendous Jones. So I love that because I love books, but I love audiobooks. I got to read, not because I don't have time for that. I need to listen to something in the background, do something else, and then when I really hear something, I just go, okay, now I'm going to devote to this. That's the way we have the ability to do. Audiobooks are amazing. Video books is something that I think is going to come around. That's going to be amazing. You actually get to watch the author or someone else actually read as well, and I think that would be awesome for somebody like me because we all learn differently. Mm-hmm. You know, I asked Pat his favorite podcasts. And he says, I don't learn audibly. It's like, I don't do that. I don't follow any podcast whatsoever. I asked Evan Carmichael the same thing. It's like, no, I don't listen to any podcasts, although they do one. They do one, but they don't listen to others. So that's important for all of us to get into because you shouldn't do a podcast just to do a podcast. It should be your natural bent. It should be your personality type. April's good at it. She knew she wanted to do this type of thing. She wanted to be an anchor. She wanted to do journalism in high school. She had her own little FM station that she broadcast through and this and that, and she wanted to go to college for it, but Mom said, no, there's no money in it, and she had to listen to Mom, and so she went a different route, but now she gets to do it. So I want people to understand that what we're doing here, this is the after show Afterglow. What was it that you learned? You know, and that our first show is going to be a little different. We're introducing it. So, Corey, you're up. Talk to Pat Flynn. Talk to him and let him know this is what I've gotten from you, learned from you, this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, if you want to include hey, I found this whole tribe of people that are like-minded. And, yeah, we're starting our little tribe of getting to know the people in the tribe. Because if you follow Pat and I follow Pat, there's something we have in common. Corey?
Yeah. Hint, hint, Corey. Tell him that part.
Hint, hint. What part am I telling him?
About how you love us and where you found us.
Yes, absolutely. This is all come about. This has all come about from us being, stuck at home trying to find some kind of routine, trying to find something that's going to get us up in the morning, that's going to get us inspired, that's going to, motivate us or push us to do something, to become something more. That's something that I've always been drawn to way back. So how I found Pat was actually through his lead course that he did, because I was dating a GIS major, a geographical information design, computer map making lady at the time, a little redhead here in San Diego. We had planned to go to the University of Denver. I was going to get a master's degree in a sustainable business type of thing. I was working with investors, with different people. We were putting on all kinds of different conferences for green investing. That was kind of my deal at the time. But I was looking to get my lead exam certification. And so I found Pat through his course that he had offered from that. And I don't even remember how long ago that was. And I've always just kind of followed him throughout, on and off. I mean, not totally, I've been on emails. I'm on emails for quite a bit. But yeah, I think I shared this the last time on a little Skype thing or something like that with, putting up their little pin and stuff like that for like a comment when he was starting to grow his YouTube channel. So I subscribed.
Put it up there again, because we didn't get to see it the other day. What does it say? Thank you for checking out
Pat's YouTube channel. We're so happy to have you as part of the SPI community, Team Flynn, and it's got that little
wow,
that you could put on there. But
Corey, how long ago did you get that?
Years ago. It came in,
and you're still sharing it with us. It's like a badge for him, right? And that's what Pat Flynn is saying. That's the super fan.
It's a personal thing.
Yes, you see value.
Yeah. Somebody sends you a little envelope in the mail. Like, you open up the mail, you're like, wait a second, like, how cool is this? Like, I'm gonna tear this thing open. It's physical. It's here. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna go, oh wow, like, what's this? And then it moves past the boundary of the screen that I think that we're all trying to do. And words, energy, all that stuff can do it, but he's got a way with his team and with everybody else that really speaks directly to you, and you know that he wants to help. And that's why I think that he's so successful in what he does. He's the person first, and he's just putting it out there, and that's what resonated with me. That's why I've continued to follow. That's why we're here. That's why that's why I'm here. So that's great.
Yeah, and that's how all of us here is because of Pat Flynn, and that's what I want to show the world is that we should get to know each other, because there's so many people that follow the same person. They don't even know each other. So if I build a people search engine for that, and you use keywords that other people will be looking for, like, where are all the autism parents with special needs kids? That would be April, and then you find your own tribe, you find your own people, and not even your like-minded people, those people who you want to get into something new, you want to learn something new. Do you have a skill set that you don't know? Get into it with other people from other diverse, like industries or what it is that they're doing as a person. Yeah, hobbies, whatever. David, how did Pat influence you? How'd you meet him? How long ago? And what's been your experience with Mr. Pat Flynn?
Okay, so in about 2014, I think, I actually started wanting to do stuff online, and I actually started out, I think I was wanting to get into drop shipping or something to make a little bit of money on the side. And then I was doing some research online, and I found affiliate marketing, and I was like, oh, okay, so I got in touch with this group of people that did affiliate marketing, but they were wanting to charge $40, $50 a month to even get started in their group, and I didn't have that. But I started my website, and it just kind of sat there for a while. And on a whim, about 2 years ago, I was looking for podcasts because I was learning Spanish. I was taking some Spanish podcasts, and I ran across Pat Flynn, affiliate marketing. And that's how I was introduced to Pat Flynn. And I listened to his first show, and I've listened to all his shows ever since. I'm in the late or the early 200s now, and I've just become a super fan by listening to his show, subscribed to his email, and then when I saw he was doing the quarantine thing for this whole virus situation that's going on, I jumped on and made sure I came to every single one of them. And he's just authentic, he's real, and I stuck with him.
I love
That's
that.
a long story short, of course.
Yeah, I love that. So you've been there just about every day, or you have been there every day. He's done today. He did
Yeah,
show
been
number
every day.
28 every day.
Yeah.
28 shows. And Christoph, you just found him over the weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
got his website reviewed over the first time.
Yeah, how'd you
How
feel
about
about that? Let me tell Pat how you felt when Pat, did you feel like gulp? He's going to get a little blunt here, and I'm going to feel this or feel that. Like, was your ego bruised? Yes or no? Start there.
Who are you asking, Roy?
Oh, David.
Oh.
When he did your review, David, on your website, how did you feel?
Oh, of my website?
Yeah, when he reviewed your
Oh,
website, did
absolutely
you feel
not.
like
My
he
ego
was
wasn't
being blunt,
bruised by
or
any
did you?
means. No, I loved it. I knew what the problems were. In fact, I was scared he was going to go to pages that I had up that had no content on them, because I have a lot of pages up on there that say that they're video tutorials or whatever. There's nothing there because I haven't made anything there, because I've been sitting on it. So, I figured maybe he's going to go one of those. Well,
He's roboting.
Yeah, David, you have.
He's like
We know
frozen
you have
now.
a. Yeah, we know that you have a bad connection at this point. So you were roboting, so we couldn't hear you. So we're just dropping you down, or you dropped yourself down. But I think that's typical because Christoph, that's typical with you. You put up your website and then you didn't add to it. Like people usually will add at least a blog post 2 or 3 times a week, once a week, and if you're really dedicated, you'll put something up every day. But you just didn't see the value in doing that, and maybe now you have new life because Pat just spoke into you, and what you're hearing here tonight. So, if you want to be a part of our inner circle that is doing websites, and we're into the Divi stuff, and I need help with that because I'm just putting up our website today and blah, blah, blah. So you kind of felt a renewed resurgence based on Pat giving you and breathing, like actually giving you triage and giving you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for your website. Yes?
100%. It was, I will use the word surreal. April used the word for me, which I'm still having a hard time. She was like, "You acknowledged me," or it was Roy. Sorry, where on the live, I had the chance to kind of pop up the screen and acknowledge you, and I didn't do it out of. It was just because you were there. It was
right. It's who you are. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You didn't go to school, and people say when somebody comes in, treat them like this. Although that would have been nice, but you just do. That's
right?
That's your personality. That's your bent. That's who Christoph is. Yes.
I hope so.
Yeah. I saw the authenticity.
I hope so. So I mean, in a perfect world, I would love to do a form of a Q&A similar to what I did with the 3 of you, versus just kind of get on and tell a story on my own. I feel like I'm more, Corey mentioned it about Pat's the Flynn Con. I don't know anything about the event, but I've done enough events. I mean, I used to run 3-day kind of personal development motivation events where I was the only speaker on stage for 3 days. So it was, 12 hours a day for 3 days. And yes, at the end, we were selling a product, and I'll be the first to tell you, I was horrible at it because I wouldn't slam dunk you. I mean, I could, and I could easily sell you something if I wanted, but if you didn't need it, and if you couldn't afford it, it was a waste for me. But the personal connection, Corey, like you had talked about, like without it being, physically face to face, it's going to be real hard. It's going to be interesting to see how the world changes from a quarantine to a new normal. And maybe what you're doing right now, Roy and April, David and Corey, maybe this is becoming part of the new normal where this
I hope
is
so.
our interaction.
I certainly hope so. So super thank you for that. It looks like David's back. David, go ahead if you have a good connection now. Let's take advantage of it while we can. So go ahead and pick up where you left off.
Nope.
Uh-oh. Froze again, David.
That's a heck of a profile, though. Like I mean, can it freeze?
Yeah,
Like
in a good position. Usually we're like, yeah. So I think tonight is everything I wanted it to be, probably a lot more. So I want to say this to both of you, and everyone else who listens to this on replay. This is available for you as well. When April and I, we want to do this every night. The after show Afterglow. We want to take sound bites. We want to play them because you can share your screen. The guests can share their screen. I can show you how to do timestamps, just like what I did with Christoph and the right place where he, started speaking about this. 20 seconds, 30-second clips, and then talk about them. Get people on the seats and go like, what's your affiliation with Pat? Did you take any of his courses? Are you just doing the, I'm a super fan. I'm showing up for his stuff. He's amazing, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I want to hear like, hey, Christoph and I met this way, and then we went and had a, one-to-one conversation, and all of a sudden, boom, we're best of friends. Or, hey, we discovered we have the same love for this and that, and we just created a new whatever, a new podcast, a new website together, a new course together that's valuable for other people. Who knows what's going to come out of all of this? So with that being said, I want to do it every day, but I know that April and I won't be able to do it every day. So we need co-hosts. And the format is very simple. You just show up and you just talk. And you let other people talk and you bring them in and this and that. So Christoph and Corey and everybody else is listening on replay, I'm offering this to you. We'll bring you into an inner circle that we already have. Corey and Christoph are both there. And so if April and I know ahead of time we can't be there, it's like, guys, who wants to take over and co-host? And it's always better if there's two of you, right? So they have the banter back and forth, and you can have the I think of this and you think of that, so you're not all by yourself. And so I want to put you both on the spot and say, Christoph, Corey, is you in or is you out?
I'll be in.
And Corey needs unmuted. Poor Corey. Corey, is you in or is you out?
I'm in as much as I can be. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And and if you guys tell me like, man, Roy, that person that co-hosted with me last night is like, oh my goodness, please don't do that with me again. That was terrible. That was horrible. It wasn't a fit for me because listen, not everybody that's going to be part of our inner circle is going to fit with everybody. We all might have the vibe right now. We're all feeling it because Corey was instrumental in helping Christoph and helping him with the show. And now if it wasn't for Corey doing what he did today, I didn't get no notification. I wasn't subscribed to Christoph's channel. I wasn't subscriber 31. I was subscriber 39, and it was only because of what Corey did. I would have missed out on this man's live stream, his first one, and then asking him, you want to join our show? And he's like, well, I don't know what's going on, but I'm in.
Sure, why not?
So you're the kind of guy, Christoph, that likes to jump off a cliff and build his parachute on the way down because you don't care because you're going to be resilient even if you fall down and go boom, yes?
I could just dive when I get to the water.
I love it. Listen, I think you're a great conversationalist. I think you're quick-witted. I think you can go with, all the questions that I've been giving you. They're not softball questions. They're pretty deep, in my opinion, and you're going
those
with
were
them.
The
and
deep
you don't.
Ones? I was waiting for deep ones.
See, and you're funny. You literally allow me the ability to laugh, and that's what I need. I need my conversations to be fun, funny, and fruitful. So with that said, I'm done. So three of you here close out. April, you do whatever you need to do and ask still. And Christoph and Corey, you guys just ask questions. Just be open with it all. I'm just going to be here and produce.
And he leaves us here in that weird format. So
and now there's three.
Now there's three. Wow, I'm glad he left.
That guy, man.
Oh, I hope he doesn't come back.
Yeah, really.
I hope he doesn't mute me from afar.
He does have that kind of power.
He does.
I wanted to elaborate on I have no idea. You guys all got to talk about Pat Flynn. I have to mute you. Sorry, Corey. I hear myself twice. I learned about Pat through Roy, but I never really followed him. I just would hear about him through Roy. And I haven't really watched anything he did until he started doing these daily Q&As. And I echo everything that you guys said about him, the authenticity. He's not out to sell anybody. Heck, the super chats that he gets, he's donating so that people without food can eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I vibe with that. And I think that most people are hungry for that type of authenticity. And that's why so many people gravitate towards him. And he's only one person. I want to see us amplifying Pat Flynn, like taking his, what he's doing, the work he's doing, not the exact work, but I mean, just the format that he's got going on, because we resonate with that, and just expanding that to these round table type discussions where instead of just Pat helping people one-to-one and doing it with the person off screen, we bring people in and help them in person, in real time. And by in person, this is as in person as it's going to get. And just helping them talk through stuff, just like yesterday, what I did with David with his website. And now you guys are here. If we were to pull up David's website, he would get exponential feedback that would probably have him running rather than walking right now. And the same for all of us. I don't know where Corey's website. I didn't hear about Corey's website, but he doesn't have one. I read your lips.
Doesn't want to talk about it.
We need to get Corey earbuds.
Either earbuds or let's send him. I'll buy a snowball and send him a snowball.
It's like rolls downhill.
There you go.
I thought it was a blow dry. I don't have much hair. I used to have a lot more hair. If you look at some of my channels from back in the day, but yes, I used to have crazy long hair, blonde, surfer kind of person. That was many years ago.
I just found myself looking down instead of a camera and realized it. I was like, what was that? Corey, so you keep talking about your lack of setup. Is that because you don't know what it is that you need to get to be perfect?
I've only used what I've always had, and what I've always had is who I am. And if I show up, then I hope that that's enough. And the technology and the computers and the internet and the cameras and whatever else. I've never. I don't yet know the technology. Like I couldn't plug a pen into something. I just don't really. I don't understand how it all works. I'm not the technical person.
Corey, you're watching the wrong people. Literally, this microphone. I don't want to yell. This microphone is a USB that I plug into my hard drive, and that's it. The end. Nothing fancy, and it's a great microphone.
Yeah, that's a great mic.
Can I do anything with a hanger? I had to make to do my little juicer, to take out my little juicer plugs.
Yeah, I can't help you with that.
No.
But and earbuds, they're like $7 at Target. I mean, that's all you need, and you've already got a camera.
I have a junk drawer around here somewhere, but there's so much stuff in there. I'm sure I have some earbuds. I won't even show you the crazy.
I think you're thinking you need some fancy, because I see. Wait, I can't get his. Christoph's got like the pop filter thing going on, and
I talk really loud, and my P's are really hard, and so I actually had a Yeti, and I didn't have it. This is called a pop filter, so it literally keeps my P's from blowing out your eardrums when I say it. So it was designed because I like to stand up right now with the setup because I can't be at the office. I'm here at home or kind of quarantined at home. This is the garage. This is awesome. My wife did that. She set it up so it looks amazing. So Corey, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. I mean, that's a shelf with knickknacks on it. That honestly to me looks, I mean, again, Pat's, studio.
Of course. Yeah.
He probably spent $5,000. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the lighting and all that kind of stuff. It was probably a lot. So what? You start with what you've got, right? Like, yeah,
Exactly.
Oh, there you go. Put the surfboard in the background. You just magnify that view by 1,000.
In the background over there.
There you go. Yeah. So you don't need anything fancy. You don't need, everything. So what is it? So April, I get what you want to do. Corey, what do you want to do? What are you doing? Because I know you're waiting. I know you're waiting the month or however long it's going to take from California, right? Are you just a super fan?
No, I'm doing what I'm doing, I guess. I still like to get out on. I just asked a friend of mine. I said, "Do you want to play a game of Connect 4 later, or some chess, or something like that?" That's what I was like. That's kind of what I want to be doing later on, and like just. I am going back to get my special ed credential. I've been teaching for 6-7 years. Also dabble in solar passive income as well. Brad Wyman, attraction marketing. A few different Barry Goss. If you look at M4 research, different things. My buddy's a crypto trader.
Okay.
I've got negative $20,000 or something like that in the bank right now, but it's not about the zeros and the money that's in there, or else I wouldn't be going into like special ed or teaching or anything like that. I just do what I do, and yeah, that's.
April, did you notice? So I'm going to use Corey as an example, if you'll let me. Did you notice how his whole tonality and his facial expressions and his whole like presence changed when he started talking about what he likes?
No, because I still am not sure what he actually likes.
I think you love teaching. I think you connecting with those students is a skill, a talent that a lot of people will never have because they don't have the patience to understand or want to understand the kids. Am I close?
Yes, it's a ton of patience. I have a deep reservoir of patience, and that's why I'm still here online doing whatever it is that I'm doing here online, because I've been here one way, shape, form, or another for many years. And, I just like connecting with people. I like to share. I like being a catalyst for positivity in the world. I like to, I like to create. I mean, this is all like a creative process of a reality that I would have never known yesterday when I woke up. And now it's 7:34 Pacific Standard Time over here, and we've been going at it for an hour and a half. And we're just literally creating things as we go. And I love that process. And I love the people that I come along with while that process is rolling. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I did hear like that enthusiasm and the face lighting up when you were sharing earlier about special needs, but I feel like there's something else more in you that you just haven't figured out yet, or you have figured it out and you're suppressing it.
No, honestly, that's that imposter syndrome. That's that wall. There's several different walls that are up there. So I think subconsciously I'm searching for people that are going to help me to break down those walls in whatever way that they might be, in order to find that true little gift that I know that we all have somehow. Yeah. And at 44 years young, I still, it's still not exactly present, but I still keep searching. It's that seeking thing.
Me too.
Boom.
So I would say this. And it sounds like April, I'd love to dig in more with you as well. But Corey, I would recommend that you start like a blog. Somehow you need to be able to generate, like, I mean, honestly, the content that you have, the ability, I bet you have stories upon stories that you could tell about the patience that you've extended to others and how that is applied in certain ways. I would look at it from this standpoint. April, you have an autistic child. Okay.
Yep.
So you will understand a lot about patience when Corey talks about patience, whether nonverbal, verbal, whatever it is. Corey, you have the ability where you could connect with April on a level that, you know, I mean, going back to what Roy had talked about earlier about vulnerability, that most people are afraid to go to, right? I mean,
Yes.
for me, I hid my bipolar diagnosis for ever, up until probably about a year ago, when I finally just got to the point where I was really tired of everybody. I don't want to use the word treating bipolars this way. I was tired of feeling the weight of what bipolarism is, if that makes sense. I think it was a TV show or something where I felt, you know, I mean, honestly, are we always going to be the guys that go, that something snaps and we kill everybody? Like, is that really what a bipolar is? No, there's so many levels, right? And so I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to talk about it. And I'm going to kind of let my story be known. Like, you know what, this is what happened to me, and this is where I was, and this is where my mindset was, and this is where I went. I can't express the freedom. Granted, before that, the fear of, oh my gosh, like I'm literally going to tell some of my closest friends, you know, that I'm bipolar. And their response, one, I won't name names, all but one embraced me or came to my aid more. They were a little bit more attentive. They were a little bit more, you know, kind of resonant with me when I get in certain moods where they're like, oh, got it. You have experience that I will never have, being in a school and helping a child or a young adult that needs someone with a level of patience that I probably will never have. The things that you could teach someone else, honestly, I think you're discounting the value that you have to offer. So if you put your stories out there, maybe one student at a time, literally, like tell one student one story at a time. Don't, you know, HIPAA, whatever, don't put their names out there, but tell the story, right? Just tell the story and get it out there. I would I know there are people that would read those and be like, oh my gosh, this spoke to me.
Yes. With April, we had no idea. I had no idea. April didn't know that I had been teaching, and I didn't know that she had an autistic child, and before all this happened. So when, you know, when it occurs and when you see those, you know, kind of coincidences that happen, then yeah, there's a value, there's strength, there's something behind that, there's magic behind that.
Yeah.
David, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have a connection? What do you think? Because if you were able to, no, that's a no.
Robot
world.
So yeah. So why did you think that he should do this from a blog standpoint instead of a live stream? Is it because he
could do live stream? It feels as if you're trying to. You have value, you really want to share it, but for whatever reason, maybe it's one of those walls that are up that you're holding back. And I don't know if that's a visual thing, if you're afraid of being on camera, if you don't want to do that.
I'm not at all.
You're honestly, not at all.
No.
Okay. So then
that's the crazy part is my first, you know, I don't even really know how to upload a video or edit a video or do anything with YouTube. All that I've done is come up with a topic, hit the little button, you know, that Pat was talking about with Periscope, you know, from back a long time ago. I love the live aspect of it. I love the realness, the rawness. I've done almost 100 different live Periscope type of things on a multitude of topics, just for the fun of it, just to see who would tune in and from all around the world and go with it. I like that, you know, Roy had talked about, you know, jumping off the cliff and not knowing whether or not your parachute's going to open up or not. which I've got a parachute jumping off of a perfectly good airplane story myself. Maybe we'll share for another time. But that's what I like about all of this. You just hit the button, the little thing goes, and you just go. You just go with the flow. You allow it.
Each of us has all done solo live streams or with more than one person, because Christoph did it by himself earlier for the first time live. And now he's here with us talking. And Corey, I know you've done videos by yourself, and now you're doing this with other people here with us. So which do you prefer? Which feels more comfortable for you, and which feels more fruitful for you, being by yourself or having more than one person? Christoph.
Yes. That's a great question. So I don't know the right answer.
No.
I liked the aspect of answering questions. I like the idea of I probably won't get it 100% right, but I have an opinion about a lot of things. At least that's what my wife tells me. So I might as well voice my opinion. I might as well say what it is that I have to say. So if I can get people to ask the question, right? Like, that's the hardest part, is people have to show up. So that's why I was floored, Corey, when you're like, I'm here. And I'm like, I don't even know if you can hear. Like, can you hear my, like, I have a little thing, can I get an amen that I love? It's actually my voice that I tweaked. And it sounds like a preacher from, like, I don't know, some church. I didn't even know if you could hear it. Right. So there's that interaction of like the Q&A that changes. I did a couple videos that I pre-recorded and then spent hours editing, that felt fine, but they didn't energize me the way that like the Q&A did earlier today.
Right.
Like the videos were fine. I didn't think they were bad, but they weren't.
It's just different.
Yeah, it's just different.
Corey.
Okay, cool. I'm unmuted. Thank you. The technology on there. I love the interactions. I love the interactions. I've never been one to, I'm not so much of a freak of making things perfect, although I would like to be. I would like to be able to go in there and have it all work out exactly how I want, the lights, the mic and everything else.
Oh my gosh.
But what I've known, all that I've known, is to simply do. And so, I don't know, I did a live stream about, maybe it was 5 days ago or something like that on YouTube, where it just resonated. What he talked about was like the you-centric as opposed to the me-centric. Like, who are you speaking to? What value am I? And I went out there and I just typed it in, and I don't even really, YouTube still struggles with me. I don't know how to do the studio stuff and to embed a server into doing something. The technology trips me up. So I keep pressing go live, and it goes, well, no, you have a problem with the live stream, and you have to go into here and embed this code over there and download this little thing over there. I'm like, screw this, man. I'm not even gonna. It gets to the point where what I had in my mind, as soon as I typed out my intro, my title, it's already lost, and then I can't get that stream of consciousness going on again. So, I still have struggles with YouTube in just making it happen. The StreamYard, I've done a couple of these StreamYards before with my buddy Earl, and I love it. It's because it feels so much more natural. It feels so much more natural. If I were to just, with Periscope, it was natural. I just hit the little go live, and it just went live. And most of those videos only went up for 24 hours. So I was like, screw it. Who's going to see 24 hours and then it's going to delete afterwards? Whatever. That's fine. But I'm still struggling with YouTube. I would love to have all the fun little bells and whistles and the lights and all that stuff, and have a topic and have a thumbnail and have light and have the, the sounds and stuff like that. I think that would be super cool. But for right now, I just get on there and go and try to.
Well, but what what's with the butt? What?
That's the negating of everything else that I said before.
I am well aware. But why? What is the block for you? There's something that you don't like. I can't put my finger on it. Help me, Corey.
Help me, Corey. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
I feel like I still think you need to be perfect in your own mind in order to do this.
Yes,
that's what I'm
exactly.
hearing.
That's the imposter syndrome. That keeps coming up. That keeps coming up. And actually, I did some kind of ClickFunnels thing or something like that, where I found this free piece of content that was out there, and then I labeled it upon me, and then I said that I was going to be like the imposter syndrome incinerator or something like that. Like I had a cool name for it, you know, like I really
Cool
did.
name.
Yeah, imposter syndrome incinerator, like just done.
Light it on fire.
Light it on fire, man. Blow that stuff up. And I had the picture and everything, and then I just couldn't get the dang thing to work. Like I went through this whole guy's course. I spent $97.99 or whatever those courses cost to put this thing together, and it you know, it's still somewhere in my browsers or something like that. But yeah, I try to make it as perfect as possible, and then I stop and I say screw it and let me just do something. And you know, but thing is, though, is I'm grateful and I'm happy that all of those little screw ups have led me to where I'm even at right now, because this is cool. This is what I enjoy about it. This is what I enjoy about it. It's just like that creation, that flow, that stream of consciousness, which we're all sharing for almost 2 hours now, which is wonderful.
I know.
So how do I help you? How do I help either of you? What can I do?
Can you find us 120 other Christophs and Corys and bring them here?
Well, I was going to say one thing, just like what you said for me, and I'm going to bring it back to a very basic level. And the same way that you said that I showed up for you today and just shared this and I was simply, and I don't like to use the word just, because just is a diminishing word. I was there for you. I simply showed up for you today, and I stuck through it for as long as I could, and pretty much till the end, actually till the end, because I invited everybody else on.
You did.
What you could do for me, I guess, when or if or how, show up. That would be it.
Okay.
In however way that you can, whatever way.
How can I help you get, if you've got your, if you paid $97 and you got it all ready, how can I help you get it done?
You can find out why that little button that says, yes, I would like this now, goes to some page where it's not supposed to go. It's a simple, and I didn't even write the book. Are you aware of the free content that you can trademark in your own name? You buy it.
Yep. PLR.
PLR. You tweak it along with you or whatever like that. So got this course on imposter syndrome or whatever like that.
Okay.
And I went through ClickFunnels, and I did the whole ClickFunnels thing, and I put my own picture on there, and I designed it how I wanted to do it. But the little button doesn't go to the content that I thought that I had bought. It makes you sign up for something, but that's only the first part of it. What a lot of these people that are selling these courses, that are putting these things out there, don't tell you is that once you have that little page set up, I mean, there's billions upon trillions upon other trillions of pages. How do you then get eyeballs? How do you get traffic? How do you get people to see and to know you, like you, and trust you? Those are,
You're doing it.
What we're doing here.
Yeah. Well, that's the magic. That's and that's the most lovely thing about it all. I mean, that's the coolest part.
Because there's a lot of people out there who are telling you about the shiny objects, and that's all I hear you talking about are the shiny objects right now. The funnel, and the bells, and the whistles.
Yes, exactly. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
It's almost like And Corey, I had to stop following a lot of people on the internet because I was looking at that. Not that I wanted to be them. I'm going, why? I'm authentic. I'm personable. I'm approachable. I know techie stuff. I'm passionate about it. But because I don't have in 3 easy steps, and I'm going to give you an opt-in, and then there's a bonus, and there's all these funnels. That's the only reason people are gravitating mostly. I can't say people because that would not be right. Most people gravitate towards those types of streamers, business owners, because they think that it's a quick way to earn money.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. We want it all. We want it now, and that's it. Just boom, instant. I want my instant gratification. If it doesn't show up at my door in 30 minutes or less, well, dang it, I'm gonna find somebody else to, whatever. And the quick fix never works. You put a Band-Aid over something, it's not gonna cause. It's not gonna, Yeah, I get you. It's a process. It's a process.
Oh, what a guy's back.
Yeah. Before
We've been on for forever.
I gotta go.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I'm going to say.
Me too.
Before he goes, I want to ask him the question he's asking us. Christoph, how can we serve you? How can we help you?
You have without knowing. Corey was there to share, and that ultimately brought you guys here, which then brought me here to you. Mm-hmm. So it's reciprocated of some sort. I hope that whatever we talked about tonight, that I actually brought value to
Absolutely,
your
100%.
goal.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, if you're asking, I'm saying 100%. Yes.
I'm not. I have sold. So this is here's the ego trip, right? I have been on stage for 1 weekend and sold more than $1 million worth of product. I've done it. I know what it feels like. I've seen it. I've seen the money. But guess what? It's very unfulfilling if you can't support or stand behind the product. That's why I don't do that anymore.
Good one.
Good
one. That's called integrity, right, Christoph?
It is, but for me, it's a little bit. It's a level different. I go a little bit deeper. Integrity always comes down to being able to provide for your own family, right? And everybody's going to provide for their own family, but yet there's a level of the population that would give up what they have so that someone else can have theirs, even if that means they have more. And I think for me, that's the level of it. Is I have been blessed beyond belief. I mean, honestly, have I had struggles? Sure. Have I had all sorts of things? Yes. But I still, given all of that, have been blessed beyond belief. So for me to do a live and then have you 3 show up and actually participate, you've made my night. Like, this whole day is just been awesome, amazing. I mean, literally, it sounds really funny, right? Like, you've given me something that money couldn't purchase. I mean, sure, I could have run ads and all that kind of stuff, but then that would have been like fake validation, right? I mean, the truth of the fact is this, right? I mean, if we want to get granular, if we're okay to get granular for a minute, Corey watched me and was supporting me, and whatever I said, there was something about it. And again, we're not nitpicking it, but there's something about it that he said, you know what? I want others to hear this.
True that. Yes. I still don't know what it is, and we'll find out on the next show.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we'll find that out.
Obviously, it wasn't with me, but because of that, I got, you two were on, and hopefully because then you stayed and you were motivated, prompted, whatever it was, you asked a
I was
question.
laughing.
Okay, good.
And I was getting value. You were teaching also. I got the fun, funny, and fruitful from you. So
Good.
I stuck around and then wanted to know, is you is or is you is not going to put my comment up? And when you did, I did the happy dance.
There you go. And I think because of that, I can't ask anymore. I know that sounds it sounds really stupid.
No.
But in a day
No.
where we're searching for all of this external validation, you're three people that you're three people that gave a shit to watch an hour of my
Totally.
opinion, my most horrendous line. Like, oh my gosh, like train wreck. And you walked away going, wow, that was great. Like,
Yeah, we didn't see what you saw because you're a little more critical, because that self-talk.
I'm 10,000 times more critical than and a lot of that is in here. A lot of that is being bipolar. A lot of that is the way that my brain works and how I interpret feedback and all sorts of all of that stuff. So honestly, what could I ask? Nothing. You've done enough.
What you say, I share with April all the time. It's if I can feel your heart. Is that what you're saying? You felt our hearts.
Totally.
You didn't just see us as three viewers. You saw us as three people that had a name: April, Corey, Roy, and we asked genuine questions. And you put it up on the screen, and you're like, "Wow, I get to answer this," and you did.
Oh, dude, I did.
And I love that you said that that's your element because it is your element. If you can have an audience that asks intelligent questions, then you're going to give us an opportunity to see your brilliance because your brilliance is usually in your blind spot. And what you did tonight in your live stream, I love that. I love showing up. If a person's going to do a solo show, they should do it in Q&A fashion, like what the other people are doing. Ask me anything, Q&A, like what Pat's doing, right?
Yeah,
like what Gary V is doing. And that gives us the audience an opportunity to see your brilliance, to see where you shine, and then we can go like, oh my goodness, he's into what I'm into. Let me go a little deeper. Hey, friend request. Hey, you want to get together? Hey, you want to do a meet and greet? And that's what I get into all of this. And here we are talking for 2 hours. We only had this show scheduled for 1 hour, and April and I didn't know who was going to show up. We put it out to the group.
We knew Corey was going to be here.
Yeah,
Corey was going to be there.
Yeah, we knew that, and there's 48 people in the Slack group, and that's all we really did is the Slack group. We didn't go into Pat's big, forum or his Facebook group and say, hey, blah, 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 blah. We're doing this mostly for ourselves. Can we be a friend? This is my whole thing. Roy, what are you into? What is your lowest common denominator? My thing is, can you show up and be friendly or befriend people that are brand new to you and do it in 15 minutes or less, record it, and then show it to the rest of us so we can go, oh my goodness, I want to connect with you, or I want to connect with the other person. That's my dream. That's my vision. And we have the tools to do it. Like something like this automatically records all this stuff for you. And all you have to do is just point to the YouTube. You have a YouTube channel, you point to your YouTube, unlisted, listed, it doesn't matter, private, and then show it to us and we can go like, wow, I want to connect with those people because most people, guys, are afraid of their own shadow and they don't want to show up in an environment like this and be vulnerable and go, yes, I would like you to be a friend of mine because I'm lonely and all the people that are in my family and friends, they don't want to go deep. They're just shallow and I'm tired of that and I want to grow and I want to go and I want to find like-minded people and that's my dream. That's my vision to do that. So Corey, Christoph, and everybody else listening, that's what I want you to do. I want you to bring people to me. I want you to say, you know what? I just met this person on the internet. I think they're a person of value, and I hope you see the same thing. And if you don't, no worry, someone else will, because I want to keep getting this database of people, just like a Google, but a Google for people. And people just put their videos together. This is who I want to meet today. This is what I solve as far as the problem. Here's my target audience, and here's who I am. And people will resonate with that because you guys are very good conversationalists. You can hold a conversation. You're still here after 2 hours. It's like we're going deep and there's going to be some sort of bond built tonight. And where we go with the rest of it is only our imagination. So I always invite people, use your imagination. What can we do together and how can we help each other with all of that? So mine's always centered around friendship. So
Awesome.
I will end with that. My final thoughts. Christoph, Corey, got final thoughts? What would you like to say to the world that maybe you learned here tonight or have learned in life? You want to leave us with a one-liner? Anything? Let's go with you first, Corey, and then we'll end with Christoph.
You've got a there.
Yeah, there we go. One-liners. One-liners I do not have, so I will just end off with thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much for watching. Again, hope everybody, if they're watching this, get some kind of value. And if we're doing it, then the other person on the end of the screen can do it. And everybody has their own stories, their own truths, their own values. Get out there and move past your fears. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And come take a seat with us because that's the best way to do it. We will not. This is a safe place. There's nobody here that's going to call you names or say something derogatory like maybe your family and friends do, and you don't have any circles that are beyond that. So come with us. Be uncomfortable for a little bit, but I assure you, within a half an hour, most people are going like, "Wow, this feels kind of good. I want to do more of this." And you don't have to be eloquent of speech or have all of that. Just share your story. That's all we want to know. So thank you for that, Corey. Christoph, final thoughts.
I would agree. I think in a world where it's literally been turned upside down, each and every one of us has an opportunity to redefine what's most important. With everything constantly changing, is it more important to have or to be? And what I mean by that is it more important to have a connection or is it more important to be a connection? This whole thing happened because one person decided to share something that was important to them. And frankly, it meant the world to me that Corey shared it. And now I've been able to meet you and I've been able to meet April and David was on and off for a little while. I hope I get a chance to, to connect with you. But if we change the concept or the, what we're talking about from, how do we make each other? I think I said it, best earlier today was, how do we become the best version of ourselves? Let's do that. Let's stop worrying about being the best version that so-and-so wants us to be, or that we think we're supposed to be. Let's just become the natural best version of ourselves.
Absolutely. And the only way to do that, in my humble opinion, is to do what we did tonight, is to understand that intimacy is not just for romantic relationships. Intimacy is also for friendships. And basically the best definition I ever heard was what you see on the screen is if I'm going to be intimate with you, I'm going to let you see into me. I'm going to show you my vulnerability, my shame, my guilt story, even if you squish it and throw it back at me, because I'm the kind of guy that says, I'm going to trust you until I can't trust you. Because living the other way around, I'm not going to trust anybody. I'm going to build a wall and live behind it. Yes, you keep people from coming into your life, but you can't live yours as well. So I agree. Show up your best self and allow other people to give you a opportunity to do that iron sharpens iron thing. Because when one person shows you their vulnerability and their intimacy, you're going to want to do likewise. And that's what I've built with April. I've done that over 4 years. And that's my social proof, is that I can do this with people. There's a lot of people that say social media is this. I just say, don't do social media, be social. Just like what Christoph said. It's like, you need to be social. You need to care more about the other person and be interested in the other person, and then they will be interested in you. You can't walk up to somebody and say, look at all my accolades, look at all my things, and all these awards and blah, blah, blah. Worship me. That's not going to happen. That's my final thoughts. Guys, this is amazing. Tomorrow, we're going to do the same thing. If you want to come on 5, 10, 15 minutes, if you have that, share something that you see in the stream tomorrow. I'll show you in the room later on or tomorrow how to do a timestamp. Give it to me and I'll post it here. And then you can say, you know what Pat said here blessed me. I didn't know this. Or what that person's question over there, that was exactly what I needed to hear. And so that's what we want to do. And, awesome. I want to give you guys the opportunity to host. I don't want to always do this. I talk a lot, but I have a lot to say. So if I can just be behind the scenes, that I'll be in my element. It's like you guys run the show. You know what I'm saying? And let's have a fun half hour, whatever long it takes. And if it goes 2 hours, it goes 2 hours. So I enjoyed it. Thank you for helping me and April make this first show of ours amazing.
Awesome.
And I really appreciate that. You guys are valuable to us. Thank you. All right. Good night, guys.
Thank you. Good night.